Okay, I guess it's just gonna skip the loading screen. Yo, what's up guys, welcome to the Warcraft replay here. I would say 90% recovered from cold slash unable to speak, and yeah, let's just get to it. We have Undead versus Human here on the map Northern Isles. I believe this is the first time I've casted on this map. I think so. It's not a new map in terms of tournament. This was present in the map pool for things like the Golden League. But yeah, I don't think I've ever casted on this before. Speaking of Golden League, we have, spoiler alert, the winner of the Golden League, Happy, spawning in as the blue undead in the bottom left, and he'll be facing off against Chaemiko, the red human in the top right. Obviously, names are not the actual ults, but it's labeled as them. I'm just gonna assume that these are just secondary names, even though not very familiar to me. Either way, we are just gonna have a standard start here for Happy with the Death Knight first. Chaemiko should also be doing the same himself. And I guess we should just look around the map. We do have a tavern in the center of the map, and it is, marketplace and then a goblin shop. So not entirely symmetrical, but I believe these should be symmetrical. Yep. Double Goblin Labs. We have 2 expansions, one close, which is at the center of the map, and then one that is probably equal distance for each other, and this should be a lot harder to defend and should be a lot harder to attain since it is guarded by a red creep camp, a Magnetor, which not sure if it has any special abilities, but since it does have a mana bar, I assume it does. Yeah, we'll see if that ever gets attempted, but we're just gonna have Chaemiko taking advantage of this militia there. We'll be able to take down this orange creep camp and get himself to level 2. He is gonna pick up the greater mana potion, which not that great, but I guess since that camp does drop consumables, I guess the best you could probably get is like a health or mana stone. And here comes the Death Knight. They're able to pick up 2 quick kills with his death coils. Pretty good. Definitely got a lot more out of the normal harassment that the Death Knight does. Skeletons are just going to get driven off here with the militia. I doubt we're going to have another death coil kill here. We are going to spawn a couple more skeletons, and there we go with the death coil, but is that going to be enough damage? It doesn't look like it, as the footmen and militia are going to be enough to just drive those skeletons away. At the very least, it does pressure, I guess, Chaemiko in his base for quite some time. On the other hand, it does lose a couple of skeleton charges for that. DK is still running around here, but since his presence has been seen, clearly, the presence somehow just chose to go back into range. Yeah, either way, that is going to be a 3rd kill there for 4th kill, never mind. Death Knight to be able to kill so many peasants while the Archmage is away, and this is definitely a weird position to be in for Chaemiko. He is losing a lot more than normal players would, and is kind of screwing him right now. Archmage is going to hit that level 3. Level 2 elementals should be in play, although I don't know how much it's going to help considering he already lost so much already. Does it pick up +9 claws, which is gonna be helpful. Obviously Archmage is not one of those heroes that is very much driven in terms of items that can be easily transferred over to I don't know, Mountain King maybe. Obviously Alchemist is not very driven item wise either. But either way, Halls of Dead has now completed, and we should be seeing the Lich coming out here, unless he wants to go for a Black Citadel first. There we go, with the Lich being queued up here and the Slaughterhouse as well, so looks to be a bit of a delayed tier 3, possibly like, yeah, possibly starting tier 3 as soon as he produces a couple of statues already, I guess. Yeah, not too sure on that, but we are going to have an early expansion here for Chaemiko. Sure, the map does look fairly sizable, so expanding is definitely a good idea. I'm not sure how it's going to be in this Undead matchup. Undead usually has the stronger late game, so it is a bit worrisome that you are gonna leave yourself open to a window of just getting attacked and nothing you can do about it. But yeah, Fattenberg Aura for the Archmage, which is definitely going to be helpful for those footmen, since, well, clearly he's going to be on footmen for quite some time. Lich is now out, and TK gets level 2. Expansion is completed, and the Arcane Towers / Guard Towers should actually be started to be produced, but yeah, let's see how this footman only army comp can actually do versus double undead heroes with a good number of Crypt Fiends right now. Clearly Defend would be a pretty smart upgrade to do. I have no idea if it's on the way, because right now we are currently trying to fight here. So Crypt Fiends dangerously going low, but the Death Knight should have enough mana for 1 or 2 Death Coils. Barracks is not actually researching Defend, which is a bit worrisome. Unless he already has it, he does not. So yeah, this defense is going to be a lot more difficult than it should be. Arcane Vault is just going to get force cancelled there, as yeah, being built a little out in the open there. Not too wise. We are going to just be about 70% done with Black Citadel, and seems like Happy is in control for most of the game. Is being pushed back, obviously. Crypt Fiends and statues aren't the best frontline, so yeah, he's just kite it out as best he can. Obviously the +9 claws on that Archmage is doing wonders in terms of just picking off these Crypt Fiend here. Needs to be a little careful. The Lich still has a couple of Frost Novas available, and the Archmage definitely doesn't want to get bursted down out of nowhere.
Summoning is complete.
And surprisingly enough, Happy is just going to get pushed back all the way back to his main base. Black Citadel is now going to be completed, and I believe... Oh, never mind. I was going to assume Destroyer form immediately. There we go. Happy... Oh, no. Happy's being really indecisive here right now. What does he want? Does he want a third statue, or does he actually want to commit to that Destroyer form? I'm not entirely sure yet, as oh, there we go, finally Destroyer form is going to be queued up. Chaemiko has a lot of gold. Sadly he is a bit behind in terms of lumber, but lumber mill is down, and he is trying his best to harvest as much as possible.
Our forces are under attack.
Let's look at tech here. Defend is finally up research, and should be easy enough to fend off against the stack. Obviously he's been doing pretty well without the defend anyway, so there is that. Barracks number 2 got placed down, which might be a little telling. Is he going mass footman, or I don't know. Blacksmith is down, so potential of knights being added to the mix here if he actually goes into castle tech. That's what I'm assuming the second barracks is for, but I could also go into workshop tech, which doesn't seem all too feasible. Flying machines obviously get hard countered by those Crypt Fiends, and mortar teams are not exactly the best versus those Crypt Fiends. So yeah, triple guard tower with an arcane to try and defend as best they can, but as you can see here, just the healing of the obsidian statue seems to be quite sufficient in just face tanking those towers. But oh, Archmage is running around here, is going to drink a pot. and we'll be able to snipe down one of those Crypt Fiends. That I believe is the first Crypt Fiend of the game. Oh, interesting. Bash prod first for the Mountain King is going to pick up the kill there, as he was temporarily surrounded. Clearly, Death Knight didn't work his Obscene Touches hard enough and was out of mana to heal up that Crypt Fiend. Level 4 Archmage. Does he have... Okay, he does have Brilliant Aura. I was thinking maybe Blizzard level 1 to try and fend off a little better versus those Crypt Fiends, but it seems like he's confident enough not to rely on it too much. This is a bit of an awkward position for Happy to be in. I was expecting him to be probably a little bit more dominant, but yeah, Chaemiko's been a lot more solid in his defenses, so yeah, this expansion first hasn't really been punished all too much. Neither has his early losses with his peasants, and he is going indeed into Castle Tech, Arcane Sanctums, and a couple of workshops. Yeah, workshops are a little concerning because that could end up being a couple of siege engines, and obviously we all have our distaste for siege engines, and especially since it is undead, which very, very difficult to actually answer siege engines because yeah, I mean, look at their main comps. Like, destroyers might be pretty decent against them. Meat wagons obviously have to commit into some meat wagons to try and deal with those siege engines, but no, we are just gonna be pumping out a couple of fight machines, which is rather weird. I was expecting just a single workshop would be sufficient to pump out the flying machines necessary to deal with those destroyers, but I guess not. Obviously, the Castle Tech has me hopeful with those knights, but we are not 100% sure on those knights just quite yet. We do have a couple, or just a single destroyer in the air right now, and they are able to demolish those additional towers right now, but yeah. Okay, just gonna face tank it a little bit more with that healing wards. Was not actually able to track where those healing wards came from, but I imagine it's one of the side camps where it drops consumables. Arcane Tower does get taken down there, but the more damaging guard towers are still alive and kicking. Chaemiko needs to be extremely careful about summoning his elementals, as it just gives free mana over to the destroyers. We do have a couple of flying machines in the air and a single spellbreaker right now. Obviously not enough to tank five Crypt Fiends right now. Here comes the second spellbreaker, and is just gonna eat half the damage. Good god. Probably should have went a more roundabout way, and we do have the first knight coming in. Is gonna drop to half as well, which is definitely not what you want to see. Might even have a death call committed there, and very nicely done by Happy, able to perfectly calculate the damage needed. And yeah, first knight, first death, I guess. Pally comes out as the third hero. We are gonna have the Stormbolt coming in from the Mountain King, but yeah, it's not going to be enough damage as the Frost Armor gets placed in it immediately. Pally comes out. Guess there's no real point healing up the Elemental, as it's just going to get eaten up by the destroyers anyway. Still pumping out those flying machines as well as those knights. Obviously, with the Animal Training upgrade or changes, you don't really need to be pressured in that particular research, because the knights already start with, I believe, 100 of that 200 health. I think that's the upgrade it gives. Either way, tower count has dropped down to 2, and we are at a pretty dominant number of Crypt Fiends for Happy, which is definitely what I like to see. A lot of undead players like to go mass destroyers, and even though it does work most of the time, I do like the mass Crypt Fiends regardless. Militia are being brought over to try and soak up the damage, while the knights and spellbreakers do the necessary damage to deal with these Crypt Fiend threats, but Is it going to be enough? I don't think it is. 61 for Happy, 57 for Chaemiko. Chaemiko is going to take down the healing ward after about 2 checks of healing. And we do have a couple of knights being dropped here, but in exchange a couple of crit fiends are also dropping as well, and we are still good in those spellbreaker numbers. I say that as one drops immediately. And all the spellbreaker drops there. I think Chaemiko wanted to try and re-engage after regrouping, but with that spellbreaker drop there, yeah, I'm not too sure about this. Armor supply is now about 8 differential between the 2 players. Happy obviously still on top, and is going to demolish this expansion. The towers obviously weren't enough, despite no meat wagons actually being employed. It seems like the crypt fiends and destroyers were honestly just enough by themselves to just face tank and get rid of these towers. Chaemiko is just going to abandon expansion, it seems, and is playing with a couple of towers here. Never mind, I did not expect this to actually happen. Did he actually take down a tree in order to place down that tower? Either way, this is a lot more pressure than Happy obviously anticipated, and it might actually be enough to take down the gold mine. So Chaemiko is going to buy enough time, at least for the basis of him. As I say that, it seems the minimap bug for the spectators is definitely annoying. The expansion does get taken down, but in exchange, the gold mine did get demolished. So 4,500. Not only that, the only mining gold mine for Happy is yeah, not mining. Chaemiko takes down the bottom right camp here and is going to pick up Hood of the Cunning, so that's +4 in agility and intelligence. Unless you're an agility hero, obviously you would prefer strength and intelligence, but at least it has intelligence. At least it's not strength and agility. That would be probably the worst, since intelligence you would like to have mana cap everywhere, and health is obviously a lot better than armor. But yeah, how can Chaemiko take advantage of this gold mine being destroyed? I honestly don't know. The workshops aren't actually being used to do anything, which is, yeah, definitely telling. Like I said before, I thought one workshop was enough to produce the necessary flying machines. It just seemed like unnecessary resources put into it. Barracks not even producing another knight. Clearly, Chaemiko wants to stay in no upkeep territory for as long as possible, but I really doubt that that's going to be the luxury that he will be able to have, as his opponent is currently knocking, or was knocking at the door of Chaemiko. He's just going to take down this Orange Creek camp instead. Still one healing ward left on the Death Knight, is going to hit that level 4. Not exactly a reasonable power spike for himself. And +3 Ring of Protection, which is obviously not a great item either. Does pick up the Replenishment Potion. Sure, I guess. Alleviates the statues, maybe? Those are +2 Black Arrow's skeletons for the Dark Ranger, who is at level 3. Lich is also at level 3, will be able to get that level 4. Not quite, he is a bit out of reach. So just any camp would do, even this camp would do, or I guess this camp. There we go, level 4 for the Lich. The model's quite big, I guess this is elevated ground. Maybe. Expansion intent maybe on the bottom right here. Obviously it is a lot harder to defend. It's a lot harder to defend, now that I think about it. Obviously it's a lot closer to Chaemiko than it is to Happy, but still, yeah, I don't know actually. I guess both expansions are pretty much equally that difficult to defend. Because yeah, no, it just seems that way. Another tower attempt here from Chaemiko, which is kind of funny. I'm pretty sure Happy would respond to this a lot more timely than last time, because last time he was a little bit preoccupied in taking down that expansion. So now, without like anything to worry about base racing, I'm pretty sure he would be able to respond in a lot more timely manner. Pally is at level 3, Mannequin is at level 3.
Forces are under attack.
But is it gonna be enough? We do have the Cloak of the Flames on the Death Knight, which is surprising to see still on him. Most of the time people do sell that particular item because they do like that influx of gold rather than the immolation effect, which is not that not that super impactful, I should say. Oh, another attack coming in here from Chaemiko, and he is going to take down the Sword Mouse, it seems, as Happy is just not going to be in time for this. Placement is going to be placed down here, and just the constant header runs coming in from the human player. We do have those knights with their, I believe it's armor shredding research. Which one is it?
Our forces are under attack.
Which one is it actually? Or is that just animal war training? I could have sworn knights do have their like enhanced swords upgrade. I don't actually remember what it's called, but oh, Pally actually got trapped inside his own base and was forced to take down a tower. Unfortunate. Expansion once again trying to be built here after being attacked by Happy. This skeleton belongs to... Oh, okay, never mind. I see it now. We do have controlled summon magic here coming in from those spellbreakers. Obviously not something you see a lot, but considering you are versing a Dark Ranger, I guess it's a good use of mana. It is definitely risky because clearly destroyers can just eat it all up. We having a base race? We are indeed having a base race, and I am not sure if this is worth it for Happy right now because it's a main base for a expansion, and this is definitely not the wisest of choices. We are going to have a TP trade instead. Base extremely close to being taken down. Happy kind of reacted a little too late there, and it seems like no, instead Happy's just going to choose to get out. That was an extremely weird game. I'm not sure if it was well attributed to the cannon tower from earlier, or Happy just making the bad decision of not TPing in time, but right, that was really weird. I really can't comment on that all too much. Clearly the score favored Chaemiko. Sure, I guess. I'm not sure how, but yeah, but wow, we actually didn't have a straight up fight between these two, which is really weird at the late game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'll maybe cast another one because this one just seemed so unsatisfactory.